The Forgotten Echo. Part 1. The Call. I don't think people understand the city's true nature. Night had fallen upon the city. Streets, usually teeming with life, now pulsed with a different energy. Neon signs cast an eerie glow upon the wet asphalt, reflecting the city's restless spirit. Cars honked, their impatient drivers navigating the labyrinth of roads. Above it all, a lone siren wailed, a mournful sound that echoed in the humid night air.
High above the bustling streets, in a modest apartment overlooking the city, Lena sat hunched over her desk. A half-eaten sandwich lay forgotten beside a stack of papers. The glow of her computer screen illuminated her face, her brow furrowed in concentration. A true night owl, she thrived in the quiet solitude that only the late hours could offer. Tonight, however, a strange anticipation throbbed within her. A sharp rap on the door shattered the silence. Lena jumped, startled. She cautiously approached the door, peering through the peephole. A delivery man, his face obscured by a cap, stood holding a nondescript package. She hesitated, a shiver running down her spine. She wasn't expecting a delivery. With a deep breath, she unlatched the door and accepted the package, a sense of foreboding settling over her. Back in the safety of her apartment, Lena carefully unwrapped the package. The room was dimly lit, casting long shadows on the walls, adding to the sense of mystery. She had been waiting for this moment, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The package had arrived unexpectedly, with no return address, only her name scrawled in an unfamiliar hand. She wondered who could have sent it and why. As she peeled away the layers of brown paper, her mind raced with possibilities. Inside, nestled in crumpled newspaper, lay an old tape recorder, its plastic casing scratched and worn. It looked like it had seen better days, perhaps a relic from a bygone era. Lena's fingers traced the edges of the device, feeling the weight of history it carried. She couldn't help but wonder about the stories it held, the voices it had captured over the years. The tape recorder seemed almost out of place in her modern apartment, a tangible link to the past. Beside it, a folded note simply read, "Listen, time is running out." The words sent a shiver down her spine. Who had written the note? And what did they mean by time is running out? Lena's curiosity was piqued, but there was also a sense of urgency that she couldn't ignore. She unfolded the note, hoping for more clues, but it was frustratingly brief. The message was clear, though. She needed to listen to whatever was on that tape.
Intrigued and more than a little apprehensive, Lena slipped 2 batteries into the recorder and pressed play. Her hands trembled slightly as she handled the device, the anticipation almost unbearable. She had no idea what to expect, but she knew she had to find out. The tape recorder whirred to life, the sound of the tape spooling filling the room. Lena held her breath, waiting for the voice to speak. A voice, raspy with age, crackled through the small speaker. It was faint at first, barely audible, but it grew stronger, more distinct. The voice carried a weight of emotion, a sense of urgency that was impossible to ignore. Lena leaned in closer, straining to catch every word. The voice seemed to be speaking directly to her, as if it had been waiting for this moment just as much as she had. "They promised me silence," the voice whispered, but some truths refused to be buried. The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. Lena's mind raced, trying to piece together the puzzle. Who was speaking? What truths were they referring to? And why had they chosen her to hear them? The voice continued, revealing fragments of a story that seemed both distant and intimately connected to her own life. Lena knew she had to uncover the full truth, no matter where it led her.
Suddenly, the phone on her desk shrieked, making her jump. Her heart pounded as she cautiously answered. "Hello?" she breathed.
A distorted voice, cold and menacing, sent chills down her spine. "You should not have listened," it hissed. "Stop asking questions or you'll regret it. You have been warned."
The line went dead, leaving Lena trembling with fear and adrenaline.
Clutching the note in her hand, Lena noticed something she had missed before. Faint indentations, almost invisible to the naked eye, marked the paper. Holding it under the desk lamp, she could just make out a series of numbers and symbols. Coordinates. Her pulse quickened. This was more than just a prank. Someone was desperate for her to find something, but what? The rational part of her screamed for caution. Ignore it, it urged. But the journalist in her, the part that craved truth and sought answers, wouldn't let it go. This was a story, a mystery begging to be unraveled. With a deep breath and a surge of determination, Lena grabbed her coat and keys. She had a feeling these coordinates held the key to a truth someone wanted hidden, and she was determined to find it.
Background city noise. The city never sleeps. Its streets are alive with the hum of engines, the chatter of people, and the distant wail of sirens. Neon lights flicker, casting eerie glows on the wet pavement. It's a world of shadows and light where danger lurks around every corner.
In the heart of this urban jungle, the alleys are the veins through which the city's secrets flow. Dark and foreboding, these narrow passages are often deserted, save for the occasional stray cat or the distant echo of footsteps. It's in these alleys that the city's true nature reveals itself.
Unbeknownst to Lena, high above the bustling city streets, a figure lurked in the shadows of a rooftop. This figure, cloaked in darkness, had been watching her for days, studying her every move. The city below was a chessboard, and Lena was a pawn in a game she didn't even know she was playing. The faint glow of a cigarette illuminated a pair of steely eyes, watching her every move through a pair of high-powered binoculars. The man on the rooftop was a predator, and Lena was his prey. He had been waiting for this moment, the culmination of weeks of planning and surveillance. A satisfied smirk played on his lips as she disappeared into the night, her car a lonely red light navigating the maze below. He knew exactly where she was going, and he knew that she had no idea what awaited her. The city was his playground, and tonight, Lena was the main attraction. She was walking into a trap, and he, the spider, was patiently waiting. Every step she took brought her closer to the web he had so meticulously woven. The night was his ally, the shadows his accomplice. Lena was about to discover that in this city, not everything is as it seems.
Background city noise fills the air, the hum of distant traffic and the occasional honk of a car horn creating a symphony of urban life. The city never truly sleeps, its pulse a constant reminder of the lives intertwined within its concrete veins.
The figure on the rooftop extinguished his cigarette, the glowing ember disappearing into the night like a fleeting secret. He stood there for a moment, his eyes scanning the horizon, taking in every detail. The city was his playground, and he knew every corner, every hiding spot. He had anticipated her every move, her curiosity a predictable weakness. From his vantage point, he could see her, a shadow among shadows, moving cautiously. She thought she was being careful, but to him, her actions were as clear as day. He had studied her, learned her patterns, and now he was ready to make his move. The game was afoot, and he was several moves ahead. Every step she took, every decision she made, he had already accounted for. It was a delicate dance, one that required precision and patience. He relished the challenge, the thrill of the hunt. This was more than just a stakeout. It was a test of wits, a battle of minds. With a final glance at the now empty street below, he melted back into the shadows, his presence nothing more than a phantom, a whisper in the wind. He moved with the grace of a predator, silent and unseen. The night was his ally, its darkness providing the perfect cover for his clandestine activities. He had a rendezvous to keep, a meeting at the very coordinates Lena was so desperately pursuing. She was close, but not close enough. He had to ensure that their paths would cross at the precise moment, a carefully orchestrated encounter that would set the stage for what was to come. The night, it seemed, was just getting started. The city, with all its secrets and mysteries, was alive with possibilities. As he made his way to the rendezvous point, he couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. The stakes were high, and the outcome uncertain, but that was what made it all the more exhilarating. The game was on and he was ready to play. If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's aim for 1,000 views for part 2. Your support means everything.